Alright, Marvel Tōkon. I've been thinking about this game a lot because we've got a pretty interesting roster already. We got Avengers, we got the X-Men, we got Spider-Man characters, we got cosmic characters, we got supernatural characters, we got villains. But by some miracle and somehow, we don't have any members of the Fantastic Four. And I know this game isn't even fully out yet, so obviously I'm not expecting the entire Fantastic Four to just magically appear tomorrow out of thin air. But I thought it would be fun to start a series here on this channel where I pitch characters that I would love to see get added to Marvel Tōkon. And for the very first episode, I'm starting with someone who I think could actually have one of the most unique movesets in the entire game, and that is Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman. Okay, so now let's answer this question for the whole 5 people watching this. 5 people in total. I'm counting views and 5 people who actually don't know who the Invisible Woman is. If you don't know much about fighting games as well, don't worry, because I'm going to explain this like I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Because frankly, I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm not good at fighting games. You should see me in Street Fighter. I'm terrible. But when I look at Tōkon, I'm thinking, what could this character actually do if Arc System Works added them? And Sue is perfect for this, because her powers aren't just, I'm invisible. She can create incredibly powerful force fields, she can make shields, she can make walls, she can make platforms, she can make spikes, she can trap people, she can basically use invisible force as a weapon. And that's what I think would make her so much fun. You wouldn't just be playing Sue and punching people, you would be using her powers to control what's happening around you. So let's make this real simple. Imagine you're fighting somebody as Sue Storm, your opponent is running towards you, and instead of just throwing a normal punch, she puts her hand out, boom! There's a force field that appears in front of her. Now your opponent can't just run straight through you. They have to figure out how to get around you. They gotta jump over you or whatever. That's basically the core of how I imagine Sue Storm plays. She controls the space around her. If somebody is jumping at her, force field. If somebody is standing too close, force field. If someone is just trying to attack her teammate, force field. And because Tōkon has that 4-character team system, I think this could actually make her a really useful character to have on your team. She's basically helping create opportunities for everybody else. And obviously, Sue still needs to be able to fight, so her basic attacks could actually be made out of the force fields. Her light punch could be a quick little force field punch, her medium could actually reach farther, and her heavy attack, she could create a giant force field fist that knocks their opponent a little bit backwards, and I think that's important, because I don't want Sue to feel like she's just standing in the back of the screen throwing stuff at people. She should actually feel like she's fighting with her powers. Alright, now obviously, we have to have invisibility. I mean, why would you add Sue Storm and not make that woman invisible? She's the fucking Invisible Woman. But I think we should keep this really simple. Sue presses her character-specific button, and she turns invisible. That's it. She just turns invisible. No giant complicated meter, no weird transformation. She just disappears. Now, obviously, if you could stay invisible forever, that would be completely ridiculous, and I would never want to fight this girl. So, I'd make it temporary. Maybe Sue can stay invisible for a few seconds, and when she's invisible, the opponent can't see exactly where she is. But if Sue attacks, she becomes visible again, and that's the trade-off. So you could use invisibility to get yourself out of a bad situation, or sneak around your opponent, or do whatever the heck you want, get in a better position, whatever. But eventually, you have to reveal yourself if you actually want to attack. And that sounds like something that could realistically exist in this game. It's simple, it's easy to understand, and most importantly, it's Sue Storm. Okay, now let's get into some of her actual special moves. The first one is the most obvious, force field shield. She creates a force field directly in front of herself. If the other player throws a projectile at her, she blocks it. If they try to attack her, the shield can absorb the hit. And depending on how powerful the attack is, eventually the shield will just break. So now the Sue player has to decide, do I put the shield up and play defensively, or do I actually attack? And I think that gives her a really interesting identity. But Invisible Woman shouldn't just be defense, so I'd give her a move where she creates a force field in front of herself and then it launches forward towards the opponent. So imagine Sue puts her hand out and like a giant invisible wall appears and she throws this wall at you. That's her projectile. It's not a fireball, it's not an energy beam, it's not Phoenix Cyclops with those optic blasts. It's literally a giant force field wall flying across the screen, and I think that would be really awesome. Then we can get a little more creative. She can create force field spikes underneath her opponent. So let's say your opponent keeps jumping towards you, so you can create this spike and then boom, they get launched into the air, and now Sue can follow up with another attack. And if you're sitting there thinking, what does follow up mean? Basically, you hit them again while they're still in the air. That's it. We're keeping this very beginner friendly because I don't understand fighting games. And here's probably my favorite idea. She can create force fields around her opponent. Not just in front of them, but like around them. So for a short amount of time, they're trapped. They can't move wherever they want, and Sue gets an opportunity to attack. This could be really useful in a team fight. She traps one opponent and suddenly her teammate has a free opening against them. That's where I think her abilities could become really interesting. She's not necessarily the character who does the most damage, but she's the character that makes it easier for your entire team to do the damage. And then obviously, we need that big super attack, and I want this to show everyone just how ridiculously powerful this freaking invisible woman actually is. She puts her hand out and an entire opponent gets surrounded by a giant force field, and then crunch! This force field collapses around them and sends them flying. I think the animation should be surprisingly calm because that's what makes Sue Storm so intimidating. She's not screaming, she's not charging up for 5 minutes, she's just standing there and deciding, you're done. And that's why I really want Sue Storm to be in Marvel Tōkon Fighting Souls. I mean, this girl is so powerful that she's taken on Celestials by herself. She is arguably the most powerful member of the Fantastic Four, and I think everybody sleeps on that fact. And I'm not trying to create some crazy character with 50 different mechanics that nobody understands. I think her gameplay could actually be pretty simple. You have normal attacks, you have force fields, you can turn invisible for a short time, and then you use those abilities to control what is happening around you. If your opponent is attacking you, you defend yourself. If they're trying to run away, you attack them from a distance. If they're jumping at you, you put a force field in their way. If they're attacking your teammate, you trap them or block them. When you get the opportunity, you absolutely wreck them. That's the Invisible Woman. And eventually, I think this could lead to having the rest of the Fantastic Four. Give me Reed. Give me Johnny. Give me Ben. Give me Franklin. Fuck it, give me Herbie. Put Herbie in the game. Because they're literally Marvel's first family. Fuck it, give me She-Hulk. But if Arc System Works only adds one character from the Fantastic Four, it's gotta be Sue. She's got the most unique powers, she's got some of the biggest personality, and I think she fits the game the most. Especially because we already have Doctor Doom. Imagine eventually having Doctor Doom and Sue Storm on the same roster. The game basically writes the rivalry for you. And then if you add the entire Fantastic Four, even better, because Tōkon has team mechanics, so you could have Sue creating a force field for Ben to smash through, or protecting Johnny while he launches a giant attack, or setting something up for her husband. There's so much potential here. Finally, just for a little bit of fun, the voice. I have two people I'd love to hear as Sue Storm. We have Wendy Lee and Natalie Van Sistine, I think that's how you say that. And I think either of them could work really well. I want Sue to sound intelligent, confident, warm. I want her to sound like a mom because she's the mom of the entire team, but I want her to sound like a fucking badass when she gets seriously. I want you to know that this is one of the most powerful people on the entire team, because Sue isn't the loudest member of the Fantastic Four. She's not throwing fire everywhere. She's not a giant, horrifying creature. She's the person who calmly looks at somebody and basically says, you should probably stop. And if they don't, they might die. So that's my first Marvel Tōkon DLC pick, Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman. I think she fits perfectly because Tōkon already has so many different types of Marvel characters, and Invisible Woman would really bring something we haven't seen yet. She could defend herself, she can control the battlefield, she can protect her teammates, she can turn invisible, and she could hit you with a giant invisible wall. I mean, come on. How is that not so cool? So Arc System Works, if you're listening, give me Sue Storm, and eventually give me the motherfucking Fantastic Four, because Marvel's first family deserves to be in this game. And that's it for this first episode. I'm going to keep pitching characters that I think could actually work in Tōkon, so let me know what you guys think. Who should I pitch next? It could be a hero, it could be a villain, it could be somebody completely ridiculous. It could be fucking Howard the Duck, it could be Cosmo the Space Dog, it could be Fight Man for all I care. I want to hear your picks. I'm Cappy Lucha, I'll see you in the next one, and peace be with you always.